Welcome back. It's me, Lou, and I'm here again for another action figure unboxing and review. Today we are looking at these. This is a Gamerverse version of Iron Man. I have two figures here. We have Atmosphere Armor and we have Orion. So these are taken from the new Avengers video game that's released by Square Enix. And truth be told, I haven't played the game yet. I went over this in another video. When the game came out, I purchased it, downloaded it, and all of a sudden work got super busy and I haven't had time for video games. So I've been kicking myself. I'm like, I need to play this video game partially because opening up these toys have been making me really like jonesing to try the video game out. So I updated the video game yesterday, and hopefully I'm going to try to make some time this weekend to play the video game. I'd like to, because personally I'd like to see where some of these figures come from, their source material. But outside of that, we're going to take a look at these two figures. Now I'm going to do two figures today because these are pretty much identical molds. The only thing different is that they have different color schemes. I haven't played the game yet, so I'm assuming that each one of these represents a different skin in the video game. So here you have Orion, and here you have Atmosphere Armor. I think there's an Atmosphere Armor Marvel Legends figure, if I remember correctly. I think I saw that at the store once. And I believe that comes with a swappable Tony Stark head. So let's examine these right off the bat. In package, we have the Gamerverse logo. We have the character artwork from the video game. Avengers, Iron Man, Atmosphere Armor. It's kind of cool. I've noticed this with some of the other figures, how the title box, they'll try to like somewhat match the color of the figure. It's a little bit color coded. You get character artwork on the side. I believe it's different for every figure. So if you get Iron Man, it's going to be Iron Man. If you get Ms. Marvel, it's going to be Ms. Marvel. On the back, we have character portraits. As I've stated before, I think this is kind of a very lazy way about doing things. Now, I know this is a budget figure, for $9, but it would have been nice if Hasbro went that extra mile and then they kind of gave you a bio card. And then in the case of Iron Man, it'd be kind of cool to actually describe what makes this suit of armor different than the other ones. And examining Orion, Iron Man, same deal. The title box, dark purple to kind of match the Orion outfit. And more character art, another character portrait. So, yep, these are two Gamerverse figures. I've said this before, when these first came out, I was kind of lukewarm to them just because I wasn't super keen on the redesigns of the costumes for the video game. I kind of felt like they tried to ground it too much into reality, and it took it a step further than the movies. I mean, which isn't a bad thing, but I just wasn't fond of some of them, especially like the Thor costume. Iron Man's a different story for me because, regardless of what this Iron Man armor looks like, it's easy to just blend it into your other Iron Man figures just because Tony Stark has this giant armory and catalog of different armors he wears. So, anything that looks weird or strange, you can just chalk it up to that. It's just a different armor altogether. But with the recent release of the Hasbro Avengers Mech Strike line, I mean, that's also a budget toy line. And I really fell in love with those figures. And just fiddling around with those, this kind of reminded me how much I enjoy the budget action figures that toy companies put out. And this line of toys, I think it's kind of like the end of its run. They haven't released any new ones in a long time. The same figures are warming up the pegs at my Target. So I don't really think... I think this line's kind of done with. I think they're still updating the video game with, I think, new skins and maybe new campaigns or whatever. But the toy line, I think, is just dead. It's not going anywhere. So my attitude was just pick up whatever figures you can find online and in the stores, because I know I'm going to regret it later. Because I do enjoy messing around with the cheaper figures. And the ones I've opened up so far from this Gamerverse Avengers line, they've kind of surprised me and I enjoy them a lot. So we're going to take a look at these and let's take this out. I'm not sure if there's an easy way of opening these boxes. Okay, we have them in his tray. You get another cool little cardboard insert. Now these are nice. I'm not sure if they necessarily serve a dual purpose. Like, I'm not sure if they're just more so for decorative purposes inside the back of the package, or if, you know, you can actually use this as a, I mean, I guess you could just use this as a display piece also. You know, you can put it at the back of your shelf with the Avengers logo, or even just use it as a base. All right, first impressions out of the box, and still in his little plastic tray. All right, so my first thought when I looked at this, for some reason, I think motocross armor. Like if you're a dirt biker, I don't know. There's something about it. It looks like it's just missing like factory logos and stickers on this, because it almost reminds me of a flap jacket that you wear to protect yourself if you're riding motocross. And I'm also reminded of the Spartan armor from Halo. It seems like the raised shoulder pieces up here, it almost seems like a callback to Master Chief. Same with the backpack. And he comes with this blast effect. The blast effect's funny because it almost looks like it almost looks like one of those yard-long margaritas that you always see people carrying with them in Las Vegas when they're walking up and down the strip. So you can take this two ways. You can see this as a blast effect, or it's Tony Stark being the drunk that he is, and he's on a bender, partying it up and just drinking margaritas all day. All right, we have Atmosphere Armor Iron Man. Now I'm kind of worried that if I like this figure a lot, I'm gonna try to hunt down maybe the Marvel Legends one, but I'm kind of, not that I'm done with Marvel Legends figures, but there's no end in sight, and they cost so much. I have no problem paying $19 for them, but when they're releasing waves of like 5 to 7 figures at $19 a pop, and if it's a build-a-figure, it's like it adds up, and you know, sometimes I don't want some of the figures are in that wave, but I want to build a figure. And space is an issue. I mean, money's always going to be an issue, but you know, I don't really have room for them anymore. And I kind of have really nice representations of all the characters I like. Iron Man's an exception, though. I've always liked Iron Man. Just the fact that I like stuff like Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers and RoboCop and cyborgs and robots. And knights in armor. And this guy kind of like ticks all those boxes. The articulation's what you expect from a budget figure. Head, this swivels, and it's hindered by the large shoulder pads. His arms go up, but this thing kind of like clips into the top, so it's not going to go all the way. So, I mean, as I said before, figures might have articulation, but also depends on the range of motion. Elbow swivel, elbow bend. With the budget figures, it's always nice when they can kick out to the side. Like some of the budget MCU figures, they don't do that. They just go up and down. And this guy even has knee bend. For example, here's an Endgame cap from the budget Endgame toy line. And this doesn't have as much articulation as this guy does. You know, his legs, it's very, very basic. It just goes up. It doesn't even go up all that high. There's no knee bend. You can't kick out to the side. So as much as people want to hate on the cheaper basic figures, they're doing a little bit more to them to increase their playability and posability. And I appreciate that a lot. Overall, this is, I mean, in terms of an Iron Man figure, it's very average. It's what you come to expect. It's Iron Man. It's an armored suit. The paint applications, very, very simple. This black and silver on blue plastic. That's what you're getting. But as I've said before, you know, you pay budget prices, you get a budget figure. It's neat that you can plug in the blast effect. This blast effect feels like it's made of the somewhat harder plastic than these, I think. Yeah, it feels just a little bit harder. And as I've mentioned before, some of the blast effects that Hasbro's including with like their Transformer toys, they've been melting. So just err on the side of caution if you use these and leave them plugged in like for long term. But I like the fact that they give you these options. It's just a cool thing, especially if you're a kid. You know, if I was a kid and I had these, I'd be really stoked. Hell, I'm an adult. I'm really stoked that they give us these. The peg might be a little bit too long because it kind of like doesn't sit flush with the palm. Overall, it's a decent fig. If I had to rate this numerically, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. Mostly because it's very average for an Iron Man figure. It's not a bad 6 though. I mean, it's just what you come to expect. If you're a kid, you might like it a lot more than I do. I mean, I like this a lot, but it's not. I don't know. Just maybe it's the color scheme. If the color scheme was different, maybe I'd be a little bit more gaga over it. Which brings us to this guy, Orion Iron Man. So this is atmosphere armor. So I'm assuming this is for him when he's just, I don't know, flying. I don't know. They made us flying suborbit or in high altitudes. I don't understand why he just doesn't make one armor that does everything. Same deal. Cardboard. Identical plastic tray. First impressions while in the tray. I love the color scheme on this. So this is Orion armor. So I'd assume this is maybe, you know, when he's flying out into space. It's cool how there's like little speckles of very light purple paint over the dark purple, and even almost like an airbrushing of the gold. So it almost kind of creates like maybe like a galaxy or an Andromeda effect. So he looks a little bit more celestial. That's the word I'm looking for. And I love the black and gold color scheme. It's very reminiscent of like the original Sin Armor and the Marvel Now stuff. Ow, motherfucker. Alright. I like closed the leg and then I got pinched right there and it hurts like a bitch. That's the second time I've hurt myself with these Iron Man figures. So prior to filming this video, I was walking in my room and I was coming to my camera setup, and I have a bunch of figures on the ground that I kind of incorporate into my videos. And I stepped on an Iron Man figure and I fell and kind of crashed onto my desk. It wasn't pretty. And now I just friggin' pinched my thumb and it hurts a lot. And if I had to rate the amount of pain between a 1 and a 10, it's about a 7. God, that sucks. Alright, so this figure, maybe it's going to lose some points because it's dangerous. Alright, color scheme wise, I hope the camera really catches this because you're getting 2 different shades of purple on this black, and you're getting gold, and you're getting these, as I mentioned before, these little speckles of light purple. There's some like gob of paint that kind of, I don't know, factory defect, but that's alright. I can live with that. I mean, I can just like scrape that off. But whereas this figure was a 6, this one might be a 7.5 to an 8, just because the color scheme is awesome. It's a really neat color scheme. Iron Man's one of those guys that is red and yellow, red and gold armor. It's very iconic. That's how they brand the character. This dude here, I love these colors. These colors work really cool. There's just it creates a different feel for the character, and presence. This one's joints are a lot tighter. Like this guy, his joints are pretty. They're not loose, but they're you can move them easily. This one's a different story. His indents, and you can even hear the click. Listen to that. All right, that's where I get worried. I always hate it when the joints are too tight because I'm always afraid I'm going to more so break something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I could heat it up later to loosen it, or I don't want to force it. Yeah, I don't want to force this. Like the tight joints are cool, but there's also like an insecurity about them because it's like I don't want to force something to move if it's not going to move. So, oh man, it sucks because this is a really dope looking figure, but his joints are just super tight, and I feel like right now I'm trying to move his arm out, but it's not been moving at all, and it feels like it's pulling the ring and the peg that's plugged into the chest, and I don't want to accidentally break something. So for whatever reason, even though these share the same molds, this guy, his joints are just super tight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to wreck it. It's a really nice figure. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of this a little bit later. Maybe put in some hot water or a blow dryer or something. So I love this guy's color scheme, but it pisses me off that, dude, I don't know what it is with these action figures, but lately every action figure I get, it's like they're all flaking, their paint's flaking off, regardless of what it is. Same articulation, everything the same about this guy. The only thing different is color scheme, and it's awesome. And since we're on the subject of Iron Man, we have some more Iron Man figures here to look at. Alright, so this is the one that comes with the Taskmaster 2-pack. He kind of has the Original Sin Marvel Now armor, the black and gold. And he's from the same line of action figures. He belongs in this universe. This is one of the new Avengers Mech Strike Iron Mans. And this is the... I believe it's the... Is this the solo release? I think this might be the solo release of the figure. I've already gotten them confused. And this is the Avengers Mech Strike Iron Man, but I think this is the one that comes with the Hulkbuster armor. I gotta go back and check my videos. Yeah, I think this might be the Hulkbuster one. So if you look, you know, they're all kind of rough. Since they're all budget figures, they all fall under that 5 to 5.5 inch scale. And it's like I said, it's really cool when you amass a bunch of these cheaper toys, especially with Iron Man, and he wears all those different armors. You can easily set up a hall of armors, which is nice if you know, if you enjoy having just a shelf of this Iron Man figs. And here we have a Marvel Legends Iron Man, just to give you an idea of the height. And the range of articulation on these, you know, it's a little bit more, or, you know, you get the head, it goes up and down, and you'll get the ab crunch and the swivels and stuff. But for the most part, the budget figures do an okay job of being articulated. So overall, I do recommend you pick these up. As I've stated, even though the game's still kind of around and they're still updating it, it doesn't look like they're making new action figures on the horizon. And they're cheap, you know, $9 for a decent Iron Man figure. You can add to your Hall of Armor. So, to wrap this up, my name is Lou. Thank you for spending the last 20 minutes with me. Go out there, spend your money on some plastic, and enjoy your life. So I'll talk to you later. Take care.